Welcome to Moa's Advocacy Update. I'm Cory, this is Jen, and before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe. So, unemployment is at near record lows, but unfortunately, that's not the case for everybody. Who's getting left out?
Military spouse unemployment has been at 20% or higher for over a decade. We face significant challenges because we PCS every 2 to 3 years. And so we haven't seen that number move in the entire time that I've been a military spouse, which is a while.
So, help put it in context. What's the scope of the problem?
So, as you mentioned, unemployment levels are low. Civilian unemployment is at 3.7%, and veteran unemployment is actually lower at 3%. Unfortunately, with military spouses, we've faced a 20% unemployment rate for all of this time that DoD has been tracking it. And there are a few pieces of legislation out there that MOA thinks would make a huge difference.
What are those? Tell us.
Number one is the Military Spouse Hiring Act, and what that would do is incentivize businesses to actually hire military spouses by providing a tax credit it would kind of offset the onboarding costs associated with hiring someone that you know is going to probably leave in 2 to 3 years. The second one is the Readiness Act, and that would help military spouses who are employed by the federal government when they PCS either continue working remotely, work with another agency, or go in a leave without pay status, all which would benefit the 5,000 plus active duty military spouses that are currently employed by the federal government.
Okay, so you mentioned a couple important pieces of legislation, but how do we actually know if we're moving the needle on this?
What we need to do is get better ways to track the data on actual military spouse unemployment rates. What we currently rely on is the active duty spouse survey, which comes out every 2 years, and that's good. It's better than nothing. But we need Bureau of Labor Statistics to get involved and partner with DoD so that we can track this more accurately and more timely, because a lot of the work that we're doing is just a little bit too late to address the actual issue.
So it sounds like when that spouse survey comes out, it's really critical to actually make sure that people are filling that out so we get good data.
Yes, it's absolutely important, not only for spouse employment, but for childcare, for housing, for PCS moves. There's so much that we glean that helps our advocacy effort that we absolutely need everyone to take that survey that gets invited to.
So when's the next chance to actually participate in the survey?
I'm glad you mentioned that. The Active Duty Spouse Survey is now live. It will be open for the next 8 weeks. So if you received an invitation, make sure you visit the link in the comments and take that survey. If you didn't receive a link, you can still participate by visiting the site and entering your DoD ID number. As always, we're going to ask you to visit our Legislative Action Center and make sure that you ask your lawmakers to support legislation that will help provide more employment opportunities for military spouses. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.